welcome to our daily word this morning. Glad you could join me for our time together on this Thursday morning. It's a beautiful sunny day, so hopefully spring's going to find its way to us. So thanks for always being with me as always and carving out time to be with me as we share our lives together and continue this journey. And I'm always thankful that you say good morning to me or good afternoon or whenever it is that you watch. So I know that I'm not doing this alone, which I know I'm not. So anyway, thanks for being with me as we continue today. Our scripture for this morning is from Psalm 100, just verse 4 of Psalm 100. And so we hear these words. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name. According to the psalmist, interestingly enough, according to the psalmist, we're not to enter worship looking for something or someone to make us feel good. We are to approach worship with an attitude of thanksgiving and praise that we bring with us through the entrance. As we approach worship and how we approach worship and work, for that matter, with an attitude of gratitude, that old saying, can set the stage for us for experiences that are different, and at the same time, they're not cumbersome. So think about this in all of our lives. You know, we sometimes rush from one place to the next. I've been doing that a lot lately, dealing with situations and with people and dying. And another person I spent significant time with yesterday, late afternoon, early evening, a friend who I've known for a long time, who's dying. And we spent a long time in conversation with the family gathered around the bedside. And we prayed. And I was rushing there to get there because they said the time was imminent. So I rushed to get there. And we spent time, and I had left there. And as I was driving home, I kind of turned fast left to go down the hill. I thought, why am I in such a hurry? What is it that, besides the fact I just wanted to get home after an extremely long day, what is it that drives me? I think for us, in all of our lives, our best experiences in life are dependent upon our approaches. Have we planned? Have we prayed? Have we given ourselves enough time? Have we rushed from place to place? Do we have enough patience to get ourselves in the right place? Do we have enough, inside of us to be prepared for what it is that's going to happen for us? The psalmist reminds us, and for me, I think it's not just about worship, although I think worship's critical. So let's start there. Enter his gates with thanksgiving. When we come here on Sunday morning, I get here really early, probably earlier than I need to, but I always like to get here early. I have a routine, get the coffee made, get the lights turned on, get the sound system ready, get the projectors ready, make sure things are right with my PowerPoint stuff, make sure the videos are going to play, make sure all those things are ready to go. I have this ritual, these kind of steps that I go through. And then I come in here and sit and wait for folks so we can be in conversation. And then folks begin to trickle in. Choir members begin to trickle in for practice. Others trickle in to bring the donuts, thankfully. And then other folks trickle in and out for conversation. And then we arrive in worship. And I wonder if we've prepared ourselves fully for what it is that's going to happen in the midst of that place. Do we look for someone to make us feel good or some experience, or do we come with thankful hearts? And then I think about that in relation to everywhere else we go, the places we have to go in our lives, work and stores and restaurants and family gatherings and doctor's appointments, whatever it is, how do we approach those things? Because this is a reminder that in all of those places we meet God. In all of those places, we should enter his gates with thanksgiving, his courts with praise, be thankful to him, and bless his name. I hope that it would be a reminder for us, this simple verse that we hear, that we should set ourselves wherever we go with this attitude that we're going to be thankful for all that God's given us, and that we're going to be grateful for what God does for us, and that we're going to recognize God in the moments. Yesterday, when I got ready to leave, we prayed, and a while ago, you've heard me tell this story, but a while ago, I baptized this gentleman. When he was at Fairhaven, he wanted to be baptized. And so I baptized him and gave him one of the prayer crosses that I've given so many people. And we put it in his hand, and we all stood around and prayed. And we have this interesting connection of people. I won't go through it all, but these interesting connections of people. So we prayed, and I prayed with thankfulness for his life. It's hard to pray those prayers and praying that God would let him go in peace. And so we got done with the prayer, and I said, well, I'm going to go. And Larry said to me, so we'd be honored if you would preside at his funeral. I said, of course, you know that I will do that. He said, well, you're the only pastor we know, and the only pastor that we want to know. Wow. I left there thinking, boy, I ought to be thankful. I am thankful for these opportunities, that God gives us in our lives to share them with each other. A couple of those folks in that room, we'll never see them in church. But boy, they're connected to God because of our connections to each other, and then my connection to you and our connections to God. You see how that works? Enter his gates with thanksgiving. I hope we'd approach our lives that way today. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for sharing your life with me. Know of God's love that surrounds all of you. Know of my love for you. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day.